wrap this up now, one of the issues that a number of people who are aware will be looking at is, of course, we've been talking about the legality, we've been talking about the process, but then there is that Supreme Court ruling that says only states have the right to come up with certain panels of inquiry, such as this one. Now, does that ruling of the Supreme Court, does it undermine or whatever to the commission, the National Human Rights Commission?
I don't think so. The states still have a responsibility, to do things, that happen within their state. What happened, as I said earlier, recently was clearly unprecedented. The governor of Lagos State himself, was the first person, to be fair to him, that came into the fray, joined the youth, he spoke to them. At the same time, ran to the federal government, with the recommendation, with whatever the keys we are actually demanding. I said, look, it's what they are, saying, pass it over to the federal government. Came back again, stayed with the young ones even during the protest, showing level of concern because it's about security. If there is any breakdown of law and order in the state, the entire state will be, engulfed in fight. So the man did all he could, then which led to this issue of NEC meeting, and that NEC, there was a resolution, go to your various state. Let's listen to the young ones, what they're even complaining about, which is actually what led to this inquiry, panel of inquiry being set all over the country. To me, the most important thing is the intent. What is the intent? Is to really assuage and make sure that recommendations are made and corrections made. We must make permanent correction to what has happened. Over time, we neglect these issues. And I cannot blame the state now for taking these proactive measures they are all taking in order to redress this issue of getting people to talk about what has been penning them over time. It's been penning them, and it's been bottled up. Now it's spilled over. Now people are now trying to redress it, and somebody is now talking about legality and all that. For God's sake, there are times for
goodness sake, your lawyers. What do lawyers talk about?
What I'm saying, we cannot establish that over a television. That can be done in a court of law.
No, but you can make the point on television.
For me, what is being done is clearly something I applaud, and this is one of the reasons also why you brought me here. Is also remember that I also made a promise that those that broke into the warehouses all over because of hunger, because those things were supposed to be given to them, but the governors erred by holding them, and there was no explanation as to why the reason these things were being held. And these guys now discovered during this process that they needed these things which were never distributed to them in the first place, and took them. Now you arrested them and are now keeping them in detention. Most of them have not been charged. They have not been granted administrative bail. There was a woman that I heard yesterday was going to go and buy things.
You're going to represent them.
I'm going to represent them. I have offered free legal services to those that went to those warehouses to collect those things because they were hungry. Because the governors themselves are supposed to be the one to be charged and arraigned for holding those things that were supposed to be.
What about those who stole people's property?
No, those ones cannot, they require legal representation, but not pro bono. Now, because they did something that is fundamentally wrong, we must make a distinction between hunger.
How will you prove that they were hungry?
Of course, when you see a hungry man, you know. You see, this guy...